Sunny days taking the clouds away. Can you tell me how to get to
I don't.
Sesame Street?
Oh. I haven't watched Sesame Street in a really long time.
Mental wounds not healing. Who and what's to blame?
Going off the rails on a crazy train.
Okay, that's how we'll start the podcast.
Hello.
Welcome to Screen Weens, the only show where you can listen to two young white men.
Yeah. It's pretty grand. It's the only podcast.
It's the first one.
Groundbreaking in that sense.
Who have no skills, work menial jobs, and have a podcast.
Yep. And we watch movies. And no one seems to listen past, like, the first 20 minutes except for Pierre. Thanks, Pierre.
And Joe.
And Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you to our two sponsors.
Our two biggest fans.
Yes. Don't worry, we have plenty of questions from Pierre today. Only Pierre.
Great. I can't wait to see how many questions he has for Eaton this week.
Yeah. E10. Yeah, E10.
Woo.
So, have you watched anything else this week?
I watched both seasons of Mindhunter, and I read a little bit of Johnny Douglas's book on BTK, who is the serial killer that you see like glimpses of at the beginning of episodes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to be, spoiler alert, but we're going to be talking about Mindhunter in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to push that back a little bit.
Okay.
Because I realized it was October. I'm like, oh shit, I want to do horror movies. So.
Oh yeah. I should pick a horror movie for today as well.
Luckily, today, the Night of the Living Dead episode dropped unintentionally. First one for October.
Today we're talking about...
there's no specific horror movie, but I don't know.
We'll make our movie ideas horror based. I have to change mine now, but I don't know. Birdman's kind of scary.
Birdman's got some like horror aspects to it, I'd say.
Oh fuck! Now I gotta figure out. Oh no!
But I've got my movie picked for next week. It kind of crosses 2 for 1 because it's a director I've really wanted to get into, and it's a horror movie. So.
Roman Polanski.
No,
I've still yet to see one of his films.
I've seen.
Which I'm sure you've seen Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
It's like...
The only one that I really have a strong desire to see is he does The Pianist, right? With Adrian Brody. That's like the one that I see is like the most that looks...
The only one I want to see is, I think it's called Ghost Rider. Because it has Ewan McGregor in it. And I want to do his entire filmography. And I'm like,
I like Adrian Brody, and I feel like...
I do too.
I don't see enough of him, and that's like... supposedly one of his like greatest performances.
You should watch The Brothers Bloom.
I should.
Ryan Johnson.
Yes.
Mark Ruffalo.
Yes.
Adrian Brody.
I remember you let me borrow it one time.
Oh yeah, and then you never watched it. Do I have it back? Did you give it back to me?
Yeah, I gave you back your movies.
Yeah, so you did. Huh? So you did this time.
And... That was the only time. So
exactly,
I've got a 100% clear rate.
Wow. Anything else besides Mindhunter? That's like a 20-hour endeavor. So
yeah, I did Mindhunter, and then I watched a One Piece movie last night along with the 2 movies. I was seeing if it would work because it's like an abridging of the first saga into like a 2-hour movie. It doesn't work. I was thinking about like choosing it for the podcast to like show you and see, but you wouldn't. A lot would be missing from.
I'd be like, look, it's Luffy.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, none of this is in order.
I don't get it.
They cut a lot of stuff out. I don't understand any of this. Who's this character that's running around with the main characters all of a sudden? I don't know, but...
It's Shrek.
I have context, so I got it. But I thought it was pretty bad.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. I saw In the Tall Grass, which is a new Stephen King movie on the Netflix. Which, I've heard good things about, like, Gerald's Game.
Yeah.
And a couple of the other ones.
Is it from the same director as that?
No, it's from the director of Cube.
Huh. Okay.
It was very bad.
Oh.
It's based on a novella, like a short story.
Yeah.
And I'm like, uh-oh.
Well, I mean, I've read a couple of his novellas, like Shawshank Redemption.
I just mean that adapting it into a full-length film was going to be a little rough with a director that's best film was Cube.
Fair enough. Because I was going to say Shawshank Redemption and Stand By Me are both based off novellas.
Oh. Still haven't seen Stand By Me.
Oof, I'm going to have to pick that one of these weeks. But not this
I'll
week.
just watch it sometime soon.
Well, I'll still probably pick
it's very bad. It had a fucking Patrick Wilson? Maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah, Patrick Wilson. He was in it.
Who is he?
He's like the main guy in like The Conjuring.
Yeah.
He's in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But he's probably best known now as Conjuring Man, which kind of makes me sad.
Yeah. He was in this movie.
Pretty bad as well, though.
Called Little Children. That I remember enjoying that movie.
Oh.
It's goes some pretty dark places, but...
Nice. Yes, that was really bad. Like... Probably like the first 10 minutes I was like, okay, I'm into it. And then it started to try to get confusing, but then it just started to get dumb. Mm-hmm. Like not like interesting confusing or like smart confusing. It was just kind of like magic. But it wasn't even like fun magic. It was just like, whoa, we just do whatever we want to progress the plot. I'm like, cool, that's fun. Yeah. I also saw the Society movie yesterday.
Oh, how was it?
Joker. Not Society. The Society movie.
Well, how was Joker?
I was like a little worried because even though it's getting crazy good reviews and Letterboxd has like a 4.1, but Joe and Lucero saw it and they both really didn't like it. Really didn't like it. I think Lucero gave it a 2 out of 10 and Joe gave it a 3 out of 10. And I walked in, I watched it, I'm like, that was really good. I really enjoyed it. I was like...
Sarah was giving me shit the other day because we were watching Neon Joe and he showed me the first episode.
Neon Joe?
Werewolf Hunter.
Oh.
It's an Adult Swim comedy. He's like, what would you give that? I'm like, probably a 6, I guess. And he's like, well, I guess that's all right because you seem to rate a lot of amazing things at 6. And it's just like...
I also look at...
It's 6 is above average. Fuck off.
Yeah, that means that I enjoy.
I have higher standards than you. My bad.
It's not as much as you, but look at my fucking curve on Letterboxd. Most of them are 6s.
Yeah.
You know? 6 is a good thing.
Yeah, 6s means it was enjoyable.
I don't agree.
There
are things that you give 6s that I've given 10s, but it's not I'm going to be Thomas, you some kind of fucking idiot.
Yeah, we just have different opinions and different things that we want to get out of a film.
But I was confused by why they didn't like it. I do think there were problems. I had a bit of an issue with some of the script. Some of it was a little too hammering the nail in,
Yeah.
But Joaquin Phoenix's performance was in it, and the cinematography was really, really great. And the city of Gotham was really, it felt alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in a lot of the live action Batman movies, they don't necessarily feel alive to me, but it felt like a real city and it felt gross and grimy. And I'm like, perfect. But there was a couple, there was a twist that everyone could see coming a mile away. And they didn't set it up properly. They didn't have enough scenes with the characters that were in this twist, so I didn't care. I'm like, oh, I already knew this was coming, but if you had more scenes with this person. I think the film was about 2 hours and 7 minutes. Probably could use 20 more minutes to iron out these characters' relationships. But I really enjoyed it. Had a really good score too. Some of the tracks started to blend together and be a little samey, but it was good.
Okay.
But overall, I really enjoyed it. Thought the cinematography was really good. Acting was really good. The script was a little weak. And I thought the worst part was probably like the directing.
Yeah, the directing was the thing I was most concerned with because I saw that it had good cinematography and I was like, well, they could have just gotten like a good director of photography. And Todd Phillips is famous for The Hangover.
Well, at the same time, the cinematographer is the cinematographer from The Hangover. So I thought, hey, maybe they're like growing together.
Maybe.
But Todd Phillips just seems like a dickhead. Like there was that thing that came out recently. It's like, yeah, I had to stop making comedies because, you know, the culture's too PC. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Your comedies just weren't very...
Yeah, there are plenty of comedies coming out these days that are, like, people think are hysterical and are still pretty fucking edgy and stuff. You just have to be funny.
Yeah. It's like you gotta have a joke beyond just, like, pointing at a group of people or...
Black people.
Yeah. Oh, trans people.
Just make a joke.
Yeah.
Make it funny.
Have some sort of a punchline.
So I was also worried, like, going into it, because I'm like, well, it's probably going to put in, like, oh. And there was some stuff be like, humor's subjective, but it wasn't even that. I feel like, good movie. Could have been better, but good movie. I just like a 7, like a light 7, like more of a 6 than an 8.
Yeah,
but
I was kind of anticipating it was going to be a real 7.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and I saw it in IMAX. And it wasn't filmed in 70 millimeter, but it was still gorgeous to watch. I've been watching a lot of movies in IMAX because there's a theater right there.
Yeah,
and it's like $7 extra, but fuck that giant screen and that like so much surround sound. It's so good. Like I saw Ad Astra at IMAX, and that fucking blew me away. I really wish that, like,
I need to see that.
I could see Lost City of Z in the IMAX.
I was looking. I was looking on Amazon and I couldn't find a Blu-ray for it. Which
what the fuck? Call up James Gray.
Maybe if I dig a little deeper, because sometimes like I'll have that problem with Amazon where I'll look something up and it won't pop up. But if I dig a little deeper, I'll be able to find like the actual.
Gotta dig a little deeper.
I don't know. They're just like, this kid buys too much shit. Let's hide some of the search results from him.
I also had my first experience with Audrey Hepburn and Fred Astaire.
Oh, yeah?
I watched Funny Face, and I couldn't stop thinking of the Ray William Johnson song.
Which one?
I'ma do what I do no matter what. Because he says, some people say I have a funny face. You could call me Fred Astaire.
Oh my gosh.
So the whole time I'm just like, gross. But that movie was not very good. I was like, it was like a fun little musical.
Do you just have the lyrics to that song memorized? Because I
have the chorus and I have that line.
Okay.
Because I'd been wanting to watch Funny Face for a while.
Because I was going to say, I like shoved that song like deep into it.
That movie was so weird because the main like relationship was between Fred Astaire, who's like 58 in the movie, and Audrey Hepburn's like 28. Oof. Which I don't have a problem with relationships with an age gap, but like if that's all there is in the 50s and the 60s and the 40s and the 30s, it's just annoying.
Yeah, I completely understand it.
I'm just like, can we not do this? Please? And like some of the music mostly was lots of fun. There was like some great dance numbers and great like colors, but the script was just shitty. And the whole thing was like, I'm Audrey Hepburn. I'm not beautiful. I could never be a model. And I'm like, what the fuck? You were literally voted like the most beautiful woman in the world or some shit. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
Put ugly people in the movie, please.
Yeah. Gosh.
But I do want to watch more movies with Fred Astaire and like Audrey Hepburn. Because they seem like fun. But it's just like, not a good movie.
I'm sure they were in probably better movies than that.
Yeah. I really want to watch Breakfast at Tiffany's.
I've
heard that's really good.
It's the one I hear them. No, I haven't. I haven't seen any movies with Audrey Hepburn or Fred Astaire in it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I have seen a movie with Fred Astaire. He was in, I think, Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Oh, the stop motion?
Yeah. Apparently he was, I think he was like the snowman or something in it. Like he was a character.
Not the heat miser, but the, Mr. Is this Mr. Frost? I don't know. I haven't seen that.
Oh no, he was S.D. Kluger.
Who?
S.D. Kluger? You know.
I haven't watched the special in a long time. So the name.
I was like, I loved it, but I was also really. He was the mailman.
Oh, okay.
It was also the narrator, I think.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Fred Astaire too. I guess they made it kind of look like him.
Huh.
Fred Astaire kind of looks like a puppet. I also rewatched Monty Python and the Holy Grail because I hadn't watched it since high school because I really loved it growing up, and then middle school and high school, people over quoting it kind of ruined it for me.
I have that exact same relationship with The Princess Bride.
Yeah, yes, I just don't enjoy a movie and you can talk about it, but I don't want to fucking hear quotes from it just non-stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's never in context. It's just saying, I know I've said it on the podcast before, but at least say a quote that makes sense in context.
Gosh,
just don't go up to somebody and go, "My name is Inigo Montoya."
Yeah.
I don't think that word means what you really think it means. Inconceivable.
Inconceivable. Inconceivable.
That's not Clint Howard in that movie. That's, I always get him and Clint Howard mixed up.
No, that is Clint Howard.
No, it's not Clint Howard. It's, I don't know the dude's name, but he's a Clint Howard type. But.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's Wallace Shawn.
Wallace Shawn. I knew it had a W in it.
They're the same. I think they're the same person.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he just wanted more money, and the Screen Actors Guild didn't want him to work more, so he made a second idea.
They're like, hey, your brother asked for a personal favor.
Gilbert Gottfried is also there. Oh.
Well, he recently got a bump up because he was on a recent AVGN episode.
Who, Gilbert Gottfried?
Yeah, he was.
What the fuck? And it's just I do really like The Princess Bride, and I do really like Monty Python and Holy Grail, but I'm just they were literally ruined for me in high school for a while. So I hadn't seen Holy Grail in probably 6 years.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed it this time around. I definitely don't think it's as good as I thought as a kid. And I don't think it's as good as Life of Brian. Life of Brian, I think, is really, really funny.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some really good jokes in Holy Grail. I love the whole, Sir Robin thing, where he's just, not quite as brave. He's not brave at all, and he has the minstrels that are just singing,
yeah.
Sir Robin ran away. But I also love singing, so.
Gosh, I haven't seen that movie since I was, a little kid. I think that was the last time I watched it.
But it mostly holds up. Also, John Cleese's characters are always fucking great in that movie.
I need to, I saw that they had Flying Circus up on Netflix, so I might, thumb through some of that.
Nice. Yeah, me too. I've only seen a couple things from Flying Circus.
Yeah, I've seen
I rented, a DVD from the library when I was a kid.
Oh. That's pretty cool.
That was because I'm the Holy Grail, they made that. And then Flying Circus is so fucking different.
Yeah.
And a lot of more deadpan. And so I was
I like that kind of stuff.
Well, no, I do too now, but when I was a kid, I'm this isn't funny.
Yeah.
Where's the fucking dancing? Where's the sun? Where's the funny rabbit?
Growing up, there was a joke on Family Guy one time where they I think they tie Meg to a chair down in the basement and they force her to watch Flying Circus. She has this line that I resonated a lot with a kid because my grandmother and my mother hated Flying Circus. And they hated Monty Python, period, dot. And she was like, I'm a girl, I don't even like the good Monty Python. And like 12-year-old Thomas was like, haha, it's true. My mom doesn't like Monty Python.
My mom's like Meg!
Yes. Oh,
My
okay.
mother hated SpongeBob.
Did she really?
Yeah, so every time and I don't think she ever actually tried to watch it. Because some of the early
SpongeBob's
seasons,
great.
pretty,
The first 3 seasons.
and I know people rag on the new stuff, but it's not terrible either. It's fine.
I've seen some good newer episodes here and there, but
I don't think it's anywhere near, but I think it's fine. I think people just rag on it because it's not as good. They're like, fuck this!
Yeah.
I'm kids are enjoying it? Let them enjoy it. But yeah, the first 3, even I would say the first 4, and even season 5 has some gems, I would say. And then afterwards, I would say it starts to get just fine.
Yeah, it goes into that Simpsons territory of drought and later.
It didn't have as strong of a run as the Simpsons good episodes, because the Simpsons good episodes went on for
8 to 10 seasons, depending on who you ask.
Yeah. And then Family Guy, there's one good joke per episode. That's what I would say.
Yeah, occasionally
I tried
some...
to occasionally watch it again because I really liked it when I was 12.
Yeah, I liked it a lot growing up.
I watched it with my mom for whatever reason. She was she wouldn't let me watch rated R movies or play rated M games, Mom, but I was able to watch Family Guy with them. And I'm I don't. What?
I had a vice versa effect because I was able to watch pretty much whatever I wanted in terms of movie department.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a period when I was a little kid where I could watch Family Guy, but there was this huge middle gap where she wouldn't let me watch it, where I started getting to the age where I could probably start picking up on some of the humor. And she's like, maybe it's a little too extreme for him at this age.
It's when somebody has a child and they don't care about swearing. They're like, fuck. But as soon as they turn 2 and they can start talking, they're like, okay, better stop.
Yeah, better hit the brakes a little bit.
Better knock it off.
But, yeah, and then when I was probably 11, I just bugged them so much because I'm like, you let me watch it when I was a little kid. Why can't I fucking watch it now? So they're like, fine, just fucking watch it. I don't care. Leave me alone. It's yeah! So.
My mom wouldn't let me fucking play rated teen games when I was 10. And I'm like, what? I'm like, Spider-Man 2 is rated T for teen.
I remember I
had to convince her when I'm 11. I'm like, look at all these games that are teen. And she's like, oh. And I'd been playing, but she didn't know. And she was like, oh. That's why I hate the ESRB, because it's bullshit.
Yeah, I have.
So is the MPAA, though. So is the TV Guide. All of these are badly done.
Yeah, don't rate things.
The MPAA is, rated by random old 50-year-old people.
Yeah, and they don't even make the information public. They try to keep it as secretive as they can. It's well, what the fuck? Why?
That's why that movie, this film is not yet rated, is good.
Yeah,
because it exposes some of that, but nobody cares.
I still haven't seen it yet.
Nobody cares.
I have vivid memories of when I was a kid. My dad would play Grand Theft Auto 3, and I'd ask for a turn, and he'd put on the cheat where everybody tries to kill you, and then he'd hand me the controller, and I remember crying when I was a kid because I was why won't they stop killing me? I was 3.
Oh, I did see The Shining in 4K.
Oh, good? Did it look good?
Yeah, it looked beautiful. It looked really good. It still probably is one of my lesser favorite Kubrick films. Not to say it's bad, or I think it's a great film, but
yeah,
and it's definitely better than his first 2.
Yeah,
and I think I gave it an 8, but that's just how much I like Kubrick's other films.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you.
And I think that most of my problems with it come from the things he did to Shelley Duvall in it. Because it's apparent on the screen, especially after you know that, because she doesn't her performance, I feel, would have been better just originally, but he physically attacked her.
I
and,
don't
abused her.
I don't agree with his methods, but there are some scenes where like it's not like the terror scenes where. Honestly, I don't think Shelley Duvall is a great actor. But
I don't. But I'm just saying. I'm saying during the terror scenes, it looks bad. Like a lot. I don't think they look very good because it doesn't look like she's capable of acting anymore because of the things she went through. So yeah. Also, some of the transitions have aged really poorly. Like they don't like. Some of them, he really fucking likes fade transitions in that movie.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are like way too sudden or like take way too long. It's like one or the other. I'm like, pick one.
Mm-hmm.
Like still a great movie, but. And it was gorgeous in 4K.
Yeah. When I get my 4K TV, I'm planning on getting the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray of that in 2001.
I also saw Abominable.
Oh, yeah?
Which is that new, like, I think it's DreamWorks. It was very beautiful, very well animated film. Very, especially near the end, they started to get all, like, funky and doing a bunch of, like, crazy shit. It was, like, a pretty good movie, but that was because it was, like, elevated by the animation and the last, like, 20 minutes. The rest was, like, pretty middling, just like a regular ass movie. But it was fine though. I enjoyed it, I guess. That's most of the stuff I watch. Oh, and then I rewatched Tucker and Dale vs. Evil because I fucking love that movie.
Are they still like doing a sequel to that?
I don't know.
Because I remember like hearing something about that like quite a while. I love that.
Well, howdy ho, officer. We've had a doozy of a day. Is like the funniest fucking line in that movie.
Oh, that's another one I haven't like watched since middle school, but that I remember I watched.
I was a little afraid I wasn't gonna like it anymore because I think it'd been like since like freshman or sophomore year since I watched it, but nope, thought it was great.
Yeah, I wonder if they made a sequel to it. If like, maybe it's just better off if they don't. I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't, but. It's always like the question to ask. Yeah. Okay. You got through all your watches, right? And I got through mine. Yeah.
I also watched High School Musical China.
High School Musical China?
Yeah. When High School Musical was big, they had a bunch of like spin-offs from Disney of like different. There's like I think a Brazil and an Argentina as well.
Huh. I didn't know that.
High School Musical China was very okay. The music was really good, but it was filmed kind of like a music video.
Were they just like, I hope we get together and we can have one son. And if it's a daughter, we'll just go and get it undone. Hey!
Yep.
Oh, I guess they can have 2 kids now.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Thanks,
Are
China.
you ready for... It's not even audience questions today. It's Pierre questions.
Woo! Pierre's question corner. Lamb on.
Okay, this first part, you know the drill.
Oh, God.
We're holding hands and locking eyes. Okay. Do you think a live-action Berserk would be better as a film, standalone, or series, or as a television series, perhaps on the Disney Channel?
I think it would, if they were to do a live action with it, the best place would be a TV series, not on the Disney Channel, but on, like, through Netflix or somewhere like that. But traditionally, I'd say stick with the animation.
You can... Okay. Yeah, I would say that, like, a series would probably be best. Like, I'd be fine with, like, I don't know, like,
I think
the way they did the Rebuild movies, I think maybe could work. Especially because those films are pretty short. Like, if they did, like, like how they did the Lord of the Rings, like 3 hour-long movies, it could probably work. But if that's, at the same time, 9 hours, that's just about the same length as the series.
That's only taking into consideration the Golden Age arc, though.
Yeah, but that's what I would want adapted first, you know.
Well, yeah.
And then they could do, you know, The Hobbit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Do you think Eraserhead would have been better if they filmed it with the color turned on?
No.
With the color turned on. I also don't. I think the film, you know, I think that some black and white films that are definitely like low budget are there just to be like low budget. Well, I think a lot of like low budget ones are just so to like save money.
Yeah.
But that I think definitely adds to the atmosphere of like a dystopian kind of future, you know. I think it definitely adds to the film. I think with color it could work, but I don't know if it would work as well.
Yeah.
It would have been harder to make it work as well.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it had color, I think it would be very muted, like very dark, very like grimy.
In order to match the tone that they're trying to present, yeah.
But also this says, P.S. E10 is my favorite. He loves you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay, then of course, this one he really needed answered. Question. Have you seen Potion Seller? Do you think it's an overall better movie compared to Eraserhead?
No, and...
You haven't seen Potion Seller?
No.
Okay. Be right back, everybody. Alright, everybody, we just got back from watching Potion Seller. So, to finish the question, do you think that was a better film than the David Lynch 1977 cult classic Eraserhead?
Absolutely not.
But pretty, like, on par, maybe?
It had me for, like, the first 20 seconds. I was like, this is pretty funny. And then the same joke repeated itself. Again, and again, and again, and again, and again. And
but I don't think you get it. He's a potion seller.
Potion seller, I'm going to battle. I need your strongest potion. You cannot handle my strongest potion. Potion seller, please give me your potions. I'm going to battle. I need your strongest potions. Oh, but my potions are so strong that they could kill Wolverine. Oh, but potion seller, I need some potions. Oh, but you see, my potions, they're too strong for you. It kept going around. It spun like a record.
Pierre watches that like 6 times a day.
Pierre, you need help, buddy.
Hey, you said you were his favorite. Don't be bad mouthing him now.
I'm not bad mouthing him. I'm trying to help him out.
I'm trying to help him. He's like the Joker. That guy should have played the Joker.
Pierre?
No, the guy who made Potion Seller.
Oh.
You want a snack pack?
No, I'm fine.
Hey guys, I'm eating a snack pack.
Eating some pudding.
Button.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with my idea for the,
No, we gotta watch Potion Seller 2. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, what? Alright.
Movie idea.
It's a movie about a guy who gets bit by a vampire. And he just tries
Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie. I don't know if it's like quite similar to like what I actually have in mind. But
I'll let you know.
Basically, dude gets bit by a vampire, and it's like a realistic kind of dark comedy about trying to adapt to his new life, because it just kind of happens. Like he's like, well, I can't go to work anymore because I can't go out in the sunlight. So it's like him trying to like keep down like a night shift job, and it's like, I don't know, just like him trying to like adapt.
So kind of like the one small bit in What We Do in the Shadows when they first turn that one guy.
Kind of, yeah. Except I would try to do different things with it as opposed to what that movie did.
Yeah, because that was just like, I can't eat food.
Yeah, exactly. Think that one bit, but stretched out into a whole movie.
Like 4 hours long?
Probably like 90 minutes.
Yeah. That does sound scary.
But it's like, I don't know what he would like do. Like he's like, all right, well, I don't want to kill people. I want to still be a person and like live my life like I would have lived it, except I'm a vampire now. So he like tries to keep his relationships like grounded, like his friendships, his girlfriend or boyfriend. I don't know. I don't care. Maybe he has parents that he has to like try and be like, hey, I'm kind of a vampire.
I'm a vampire.
Or maybe they're like super religious parents and they're like, no!
He can't even go in because there's crosses everywhere.
Yeah, and they won't invite him in.
He's like, fuck you!
Let me in!
Let me in!
Ma, I just gotta take the TV.
He can't even get into his own apartment because they leased it for him.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's like,
they won't let him into his own apartment.
He's like, I need you to invite me anytime into my own apartment, Mom. She's like, no.
No, fuck you, no son of mine's a vampire. You're not my son anymore. Okay, here's my idea. It's a zombie.
Okay.
And he goes out during... He's kind of like a sentient zombie. Maybe like zombies have like been underground kind of thing. Nobody really knows about them yet, but... Each time they infect somebody, the person is a little more sentient because the infection's a little more diluted each time.
Okay.
So he's kind of sentient in that he can, like, at least respond. Like, he can do things. He knows what's going on. And he wanders out on Halloween night because he wants to, hang out with people. And he, like, wanders into a club and he accidentally, like, gets onto the dance floor. And he starts dancing. And then he wins a competition that he didn't even know he was a part of. And so this gets him like a role in like a dancing show. So then he's on like a dance competition show and he's a zombie, but he can't let anybody know. And it's like, and he's like trying to win this competition while also, like eating brains. But in secret. And then nobody knows except, like, maybe his manager. Like, he gets a manager, and he's like, a zombie. Like, he can't even talk very well. And people just think it's part of his act.
Yeah, I'd watch it.
Yeah.
Kind of, it doesn't hold very many similarities. Very little. But have you ever seen Chud 2, Bud the Chud?
I haven't seen either Chud.
Watch Chud 2, Bud the Chud.
Have you seen Warm Bodies?
I saw, like, bits and pieces of it.
Not terrible.
I didn't really like what it was going for.
I feel it. If you're okay with what it's going for, not a bad movie. Not amazing or anything, but
yeah,
it's okay. Isn't that Nicholas Hoult in that?
I don't know the name of the main actor.
Brother cousin. Yeah, so great horror-related movies for us to talk about today. Yeah, Nicholas Hoult. So let's jump right into Paper Moon. 1973, Peter Bogdanovich, Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah.
Apparently Ryan O'Neal's a piece of shit, Thomas was telling me. I'm like, that's...
Yeah.
Why do people have to be bad?
And according to Angelica Houston, who is like the mom in the like Addams Family movies that have like Christina Ricci and Christopher Lloyd in them, because they're doing a new Addams Family.
Yeah, I wish the animation was better and the script was better because I like the cast.
Yeah, and I'm totally okay with an animated movie, but I don't like the art style.
Yeah, no, it looks like they're just trying to make it as cheap as possible.
Yeah,
but I'm like, Oscar Isaac is a good pick for Gomez. And I think Charlize Theron is a good pick for I just wish it didn't look so shit.
Yeah. But, yeah, according to her biography, she was in, like, a relationship with Ryan O'Neal for a brief period of time in the 70s, and he grabbed her by the hair and pulled it and headbutted her.
The fuck? That's like a wrestling move, dude. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's what was described in the article I was reading about it. So, Yeah, bad, Ryan. Bad.
Bad Ryan.
I liked you in Barry Lyndon and this movie, and then I read that, and it makes me want to like you a lot less.
Which is sad because I thought he was very good in this movie.
Yeah, same.
I really enjoyed this movie though. I had a ton of fun.
Yeah, same.
I was laughing the whole time, pretty much.
I wasn't laughing the whole time, but I think there was only one point where I actually laughed in the movie.
Actually,
but I
feel like I was smiling the whole time. When I say I don't laugh a lot at movies.
Yeah.
But
the part where I laughed is the part where he was telling the joke about the woman on the plane who like turned her pantyhose inside out and was like, "Oh, I was reading this magazine and it was so hot that I had to turn the hose on me." And then he does like this obnoxious laugh. It's like,
yeah, he's like,
and
I'm like, is that the Joker? I was like, is that a real laugh? I can't tell because he doesn't really laugh at all in the movie.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, is that supposed to be just his character's laugh, or is he like trying to con this woman? Because if that's a fake laugh, that's a terrible fake laugh.
I don't know, but whatever it was, it had me in stitches.
So this movie is about a con man, and he shows up to this woman's funeral that he used to bang.
Yep.
And there's a little girl there that's like 9, probably.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Did you know the mother? You kind of have a resemblance to the daughter. Do you think she could be yours?" He's like, "No, I was just passing through. I was just a friend." And they're like, "Oh, okay." And then, like, they start walking away, and he's gonna follow them. But he leans into the grave, and he's like, "I bet you still got a fine ass on you." And I laughed at that part. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Oh.
Sets you up to know what kind of a character we're dealing with.
Oh, this film is also in black and white.
Oh, yeah.
It's set in the 30s, and the whole movie feels like the 30s, at least to me. Like, they did a really good job. Like, even the way they filmed it reminded me of, like, this could have been filmed in the 30s, and this was just, like, a restoration.
Yeah.
Except the sound quality is much too high.
Yeah. Probably some camera moves that would have been a little bit harder depending on which particular part of the 30s that it was filmed in.
Definitely.
And also with the sound, because a lot of, like, early sound movies have very little like actual sound design.
Yeah. No, it was mostly the sound that I'm like, well, it definitely wouldn't have like this orchestra or like anything, like, you know, stuff like that. But I did think the film looked pretty gorgeous a lot of the time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I was impressed. But you know me, I like too many movies.
You know, there's a lot of movies to like.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch every one. If I can become immortal somehow.
That'd be pretty cool.
I'll have to keep trying to keep up, and then when the human race eventually dies out, I can watch all the films.
Yeah.
I'll have to, like, get them all, so that... Yeah.
Yeah, you can raid, like, people's, like, property and maybe find some, like, bunkers or basements that might have some old, like, lost films on there. You never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically...
Oh, and then...
They pressure Ryan O'Neal into taking...
he says where he's headed. He's like, "I'm just passing through, going to St. Louis or something." And they're like, "St. Louis? Well, she's... Her only relative, her aunt lives in Joesville, St. Louis or something like that." And he's like, "Oh, that's nice." Like, he literally was just like, "Huh, cool." Yep. They're like, "Well, you should take her." And he's like, "I don't know. I've never traveled with a child before.
And I got to make a lot of stops." And they're like, "But you're going along the way."
So he's like, "Fine."
Yeah, so brings the little girl with him.
He goes and blackmails a guy for money.
Yep.
He's like, "Listen, you killed her, or your brother killed her mother. Give me $5,000 or some shit, or $3,000. He asked for $3,000. And the guy's like, I'll give you $200. He's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And she's right outside the door listening in.
Yeah.
So he's like getting new tires on his car. He's like fixing it up so he can like make this drive.
And she's like, "Are you my
Pa.
Yeah, they go to a restaurant and she's like, "Are you my pa?" And he's like, "No." And she's like, "They said we have a resemblance.
We got the same chin.
He's like, "So many people have the same chin."
And she's like, "Well, if you ain't my pa, I want my $200 back." And he's like,
I want my $200. And he's like, "What?" And I heard.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't have no $200 anymore. And even if I did, I wouldn't give it to you. And I ain't your pa." And she says, "I want my $200. And they're like arguing. And I just love this scene. They're like getting loud. Just like how you would have a regular argument with a person, like a regular adult person.
Yeah.
In a private setting. But they're just in the middle of this like coffee shop. Just like banging on the table. "I want my $200.
Yeah. So, of course, he's like, "Well, I don't have your $200. She's like, "Well, you better get it then."
Oh, this was after he had bought her a plane ticket.
Yeah.
Or not a plane, a train ticket. That's what I meant.
And some, like, ice cream or whatever.
Yeah, he bought a train ticket and, like, $20 to give to her aunt.
Yeah.
But after she's like, "I want my $200, so I'm going to go to the police."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Okay." And he cancels the train ticket and they start like driving to St. Louis. He's like, "I'll just take you," and then make money on the way. And then he introduces the con he does.
Yep.
Which is so despicable, but also so fucking genius and funny.
Yeah.
So what he does is he looks in today's obituaries, or even like the week's obituaries.
Finds a name. He finds
like an old man's name. He's like, Garth Hardred.
Yeah.
And
finds
he goes,
who he
he's like,
survived by.
"Is Mr. Hardred here?" And she's like, "No, he died about a week ago." And he says, "Oh, I must have seen him not more than a month ago."
Yeah, you ordered a Bible with the name, insert your name here on it.
He has like stamps that he like puts their names in. And they're just like, "Well, I want to keep the Bible." He's like, "You don't have to. I can give you back your $1 deposit."
And they're like,
"No, I'll take it." And it's usually like $8, which is pretty expensive for the 30s.
Yeah, but of course, the little girl drives it up.
Yeah,
the first one.
She's like, $12. And she's just like, "Wow!"
Yeah, but they get that $12 and they start the Bible salesman.
But she's also more ethical than him. Like, they go to a family that like
has a shit ton of kids.
It's like a young mother, so her husband died pretty young and they have like 8 kids, and she's like, "Why would he spend money on a Bible? What the fuck's wrong with him?"
She just gives the Bible.
She's like, it's paid for.
Here you go. Leaves.
And then later on they find like a really rich woman's house, and he's just trying to do his regular spiel, but she notices that she's like rich. So she's like, "It's $24.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Okay." Because she's rich, so she doesn't know what money is.
Let me go grab my purse.
And then she gives another extra $5 just for being like, I'm like, what the fuck?
Shit. Okay.
Bruh. So they just start like conning their way across America.
Yep.
Just doing little things. Until they arrive at a circus.
Yep, and there is a certain tent put up that has a certain woman.
Yeah, there's a tent that's, I think it's called like Harem Girls.
Yeah,
and it's like you pay for it and you can go see like sexual dancing. It's like a
flapper girl kind of thing. No, flapper girls are like 20s.
Yeah.
Probably not in circus tents, but
so little girl, what is her name? What are their names?
It's like Roxy or it's some like trashy name.
Well, I mean even the main characters. I can't.
It's Woes or
Moses. Yeah, Moses, because they call him Mo all the time. And then Addie Loggins.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Trixie, I think, was the name of.
Oh shit.
One girl.
I think that's Ryan O'Neal's actual daughter.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a neat piece of trivia.
Oh, and she's the youngest person ever to win a competitive Academy Award.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
She won one for this movie.
Nice.
Man, that's really cool. Even though Ryan O'Neal's an asshole, apparently.
Well, hopefully his daughter's not.
Yeah.
And she deserves that credit. Assuming that she didn't do anything bad when she grew up.
But yeah, they meet this woman. She's just trying to have a good time. She's treating him like a dad, even though they don't know if... Like, it's pretty heavily implied he's her father, but they never say it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fine. I think it actually adds to it.
Oh, yeah.
But she just wants to have a little picture with him in this paper moon.
Yep.
And he's like, no, I'm going to go pay all my money to go see these women dance.
You've already seen her half a dozen times, and I might see her half a
dozen more.
It's just like, oh my god. He's so much like Barry. Like, I got so many...
It's like Barry Lyndon in the 1970s.
Exactly.
It's like your...
Or the 1930s.
Yeah, you're right. It's time skip. What, Barry Lyndon's in like 1700 or what?
Yeah, the 18th century.
Just time skip 200 years.
Yeah.
Barry Lyndon's great-great-great-great-great-grandson.
Ryan O'Neal always plays an opportunist.
So then he somehow convinces this woman to be like, I'll drive you to where you need to go.
Yeah.
And they take her and her, like, servant.
Yeah, they call her a maid in the movie,
but she's, like, not really paid. She's, like, a young black girl. And apparently this girl, Trixie, she had been like, I'll give you $4 a week. And she's like, I never have seen a single penny.
Yeah.
Except for, like, occasional drinks or something.
Yeah.
But she's like, it's still better than just, I don't have money to get home to my family, so I'm kind of stuck like this. And I'm like, that's so sad. Fuck Trixie.
Yeah, and she's like, even if I did, my mom would say I'd be better off working for this white lady. And it's like, oh my god.
Oh,
terrible.
So, they start going across the country. Ryan O'Neal's character, Moses, is like spending all of his money on her.
Yeah.
He buys a new car. He's like, they had like $800, and I think when they like finally like get rid of her in the film, they have like 200 left.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus. They're like going to fancy hotels every time. They go to a hotel. Well, she has to pee a lot, so they're stopping literally like every few hours for her to go pee.
Yeah.
Addie Loggins fucking hates her.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, is like, I want to sit up front.
Yeah, especially after she basically gets confirmation from, what's the maid's character?
Imogen, I think her name is.
Imogen?
Imogen.
Okay.
Imogene.
Okay. But she basically gives her, like, the confirmation, like, yeah, she's just trying to take
she just
off
uses
for everything
men
he's worth.
for money, which is fine, you know. If he's stupid enough to fucking, it's pretty obvious, and he's just like, especially because he's a con man. That's so funny. I love it when like con men are con.
I had that thought process because there's like that bit coming up where like she's like down at the motel when they're like initiating their plan to get rid of her, and she's like, oh, you know, she's sick. Don't go up there, and it's like, you are totally getting conned right now, and you have not the slightest idea, even though all of this is terribly suspicious.
So after they get confirmation, and even Trixie tells her pretty much, she's like, I'll be gone soon.
Yeah, she's like, I'm going to level with you. I know you don't like me. I just want to bleed him dry, and then I'll leave.
But they get to a hotel, and they hatch a plan to get rid of her, and she tells Imogen that she'll give her $30 or something like that to get home to her mother and have a little bit of extra money. Because I think train tickets were like $12.
Yeah, something like that.
They'd still have like $18, which is like a decent amount for the 30s to like at least get food for like a couple weeks probably or something. You know, it would help. Like $18 would actually help quite a bit. So she's like, okay, I'm in. So the daughter, Addie, had noticed that the clerk had
been hitting on Trixie.
Yeah, and he'd be like staring at her ass as she walks up.
Yeah.
So she starts to convince him that Trixie likes him And Trixie will sleep with men for money, if it's enough money.
For like $5.
Hey, $5 is $5, am I right?
Yeah.
But she gets Emojin to be like, hey, the clerk will have sex with you for $25.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, fuck, $25? 1930, I'd probably do that. So she's like, oh, fuck, maybe I should do that. So they pretty much, they just get them into a compromising position, and then they send Ryan O'Neal's character, Moses, up to the room, and he finds out.
I love there's that bit where they're trying to, like, secure some time to, like, get the, like, lobby boy to go up there, and they're like, oh, well, Trixie won't see you today until this evening because she's sick. He's like, oh, she's sick. I gotta go up and help her. And then they insinuate that she's on her period.
He's like,
oh,
never mind.
Yeah, I guess I'll just see her this evening.
I'm not okay. I'm a man.
Yeah, I thought that scene was pretty funny.
Yeah. It's like, why are men still today? There's so many men that are like so uncomfortable with a woman's period. They're like, bleeding from vagina?
Oh no.
Oh no, bleed. But then they get the guy up there, and then they're like, quick, she needs you, go up. And then he finds out.
Yeah.
He's like, Addie, we're leaving. Then they leave.
Yep.
And they're back on the road, and he's none the wiser. I thought, like, they would bring it back in the film.
Yeah, you thought it'd be some sort of, like second act downer.
Yeah, but I'm so glad they didn't.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, she conned him. That was it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so funny.
He's just like, Addie, promise me when you grow up you won't, like, go to treat men like that or whatever. And it's like,
and this had been a 2-month period of traveling with Trixie.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize it was that long until they said it. I'm like, whoa! And she's like, come on, Mo, let's do some fucking conning. So they decide to do, like, a con. They're like sitting outside of a bar at night that they stopped at, and they see a guy that keeps leaving and coming back in.
I thought it was a hotel, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It's just
there is but I think there also is a bar or something. But yeah,
I think it's the front desk.
Yeah, that's just everything's a bar.
But there was a lot of alcohol being served there.
There is a hotel. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't a bar because alcohol is illegal. Or at least whiskey, hard liquors, I think, were illegal in the county they were in or something like that.
Yeah. Does this movie take place in the 30s for sure? Like, do they say that? Or does it take place in the 20s during, like, Prohibition?
It's during the Great Depression, so it's at least after 29.
Okay. I'm not sure how long Prohibition lasted for either.
But he finds
30s.
Bootleggers. A bootlegger.
Yeah.
And this scam is so funny.
Yeah.
So he has Addie follow him, and she finds where all the alcohol is being stored. And there's like a shack with crates and crates of it inside. And she tells him where it is. And he fucking breaks into it and steals like
a lot of whiskey.
10 crates of whiskey or some shit. And then he goes and talks to the guy, and he's like, you want to buy 10 crates? The same guy he just stole from. You want to buy 10 crates of whiskey?
And the dude's like...
It's like, okay.
Yeah, so they meet up at an empty field. They sell the whiskey for like, what? $600 plus their $200.
$625, yeah.
So they had like $800 something.
But then... Of course, as soon as they leave, the police are on their tail.
Yeah, because they overheard that bit where he's like, bought his own whiskey. And, of course...
Well, it's not even that. It's just that it turns out that the sheriff or whatever is the guy's brother. It's played by the same guy.
Yeah.
So...
And it's just like...
You think at first maybe they heard, bought his own whiskey, but it's just this guy, like, is getting rid of his competition.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, So they have a car chase, a very short car chase. They're immediately arrested, and they're like, "Where's the money?" He's like, "I'm not a bootlegger." And they're looking for the money everywhere. And she had hidden it, like, in her hat in a, like, certain, like, seam.
Yeah.
So even when they, like, rip off her hat, they can't find it.
Yeah, because it's
And
got,
she's
like, the solid, like, mat, and then it's got, like, the kind of, like...
They, like, confiscate his car, but then they leave the keys on the desk. And... she, like, when she's like, can I get my stuff? And she, like, picks up all her stuff, her hat, and she swipes the key without the guy noticing. Because only one person's guarding them at this point.
Yeah.
The other guy got on the phone call or something. Oh, yeah. He went to go talk to his brother. And then, as they fucking... She's like, I gotta go. Hey, Dad. Hey, Mo. I gotta go to the shit house.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck? Why are you saying it like that? He's like, oh, okay.
And she's like, I'm scared.
Can you come with me? He's like, oh, fine. So he takes them down. And then as soon as they open the door, she's like, run! Yeah. And they start running.
Like, are you fucking crazy? Because the dude, like, the cop had, like, a loaded shotgun.
Yeah. He's like, what the fuck? So they run outside and jump in the car and are, like, speeding away. And they have another car chase. But they, like, get away through a couple of, like, maneuvers.
Now we're to the best part in the fucking movie.
This is, like, almost the end. They're like, we gotta switch cars. So they pull up to this farmhouse.
Yeah.
And there's, like, this really shitty little truck. And they're like, listen, they knock on the door. There's this old guy. They're like, we'll swap with you. This is, like, an almost brand new car. You just gotta wait a couple weeks before driving it because the cops are after us.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, he doesn't say anything. He just wanders back in. He's like, well, I guess he's thinking about it. And he goes and looks at the truck, and like doors falling off. Yeah. And then 5 people start wandering out. One of them being Randy Quaid.
Oh, man. Randy Quaid. Oh.
I wish Randy Quaid wasn't the worst.
Yeah, he's gone off the deep end in recent times, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, even like just a couple days ago, he made a video about how much he loves Trump.
Oh, I see. I didn't know he was like a big Trump supporter.
Oh, he's a big Trump.
I knew he was like a big like conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, that would be fine, but no, he's also like racist.
Oh, it was fantastic.
But. He actually plays the perfect role. He's like this big hillbilly guy who he's like, we're not going to swap. And he's like, why? It's a brand new car. He's like, can't fit anything in it.
Yeah, not good for loading stuff on it.
Moses is like, you can just sell it and get 2 more new trucks.
I ain't going to do
swap.
it.
He's like, I'll wrestle you for it. Fucking Moses is like, I'll wrestle you. He's like, what kind of wrestling?
Any kind.
Any kind. Barefoot, foot,
Yeah.
So then they wrestle.
Yep.
Which really just means fight, I guess. Like, I thought they were just going to wrestle. But then Moses just kicks him in the fucking, face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, wrestling.
Yes. And so he gets the truck. And they go and they cross the state lines. And
they get to St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah, they get to, the first fucking city past state lines, and they're like, oh, well, I guess we're safe now.
Because they can't be arrested, I guess. Which, is true, I guess.
Yeah, if you were dealing with noble policemen, but you're dealing with some crooked...
So they go inside somewhere. Where were they going inside?
I think it's like a hotel, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. And Moses comes out, and the police and his brother, who's the bootlegger, and the other police officer are all there. And he just starts running.
Yeah.
And he's running, and they corner him in an alley.
Yep.
And
they beat the shit out of him.
They beat the shit out of him.
And Addie finds him after...
Because they were waiting for, a con.
Yeah, there was some dude they were supposed to meet on some street corner, and... She watches that dude for a little bit, and he walks away after a certain.
She's like, "Where the fuck is Moses?" And he starts walking, and she hears the faint sounds like "Daddy." And I'm like, "Is Moses a ghost?"
Yeah.
But no, he's on a doorstep on a stoop, just He's
like, they took all of it. She's like, "Well, I kept $10." He's like, "What the fuck's $10 gonna do?"
She's like, "We can get a Bible. We can get some Bibles and do it all again." It's like, no.
Fair point.
So he drives her to her aunt's house.
Yep.
And it's been like 3 or 4 months.
Yep.
And she goes up to the door and she's like, "You're alive." The aunt's
"Holy
like,
shit.
"What the fuck? Come in." And she's like, "You're gonna love it here." And he's like slowly driving away. He like stops kind of like at the end of the road. And or like right after, there's at the end of the road, there's like a little hill and he like stops. And he's like really sad.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he's known the entire time that's his daughter, you know. And even then, they like became like best friends. And he's had like a traveling companion for the first time that he actually like likes. That's like a good for him.
Yeah.
And he's right as he's about to start going.
Finds a little
Addie. What?
Well, he finds the envelope with the picture of her by herself on the paper moon.
Oh yeah. Which was also sad.
Yes. And then he like looks in his rearview mirror and
Addie's running with her little suitcase. She's running towards him. She's like, "I'm coming." He's like, "What do you can't come with me."
he's like, "I don't want to travel with you."
She's like, "But you still owe me my $200.
And then the car starts rolling.
The shitty ass car starts rolling.
He's like, "Ah, damn it. All right, come on." And
they start running. They start booking it.
Yep.
And then they jump in, and the film ends with them running after the car and jumping in.
Yep. And it's like,
there's a couple scenes that I'm like, this was very dangerous for Addie.
Yeah.
Like when she jumps in the car at the end.
I was.
But also, do you remember when she was riding on the crates?
Yeah, and
the bootleg, they like almost get knocked over, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm sure they probably had like safety harnesses.
Yeah, and I don't like. She wouldn't have gotten really hurt if she just fell off.
At least that's what you like to think.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I wasn't there on set, but this is the 70s. It's not quite like the death trap that the film industry was.
Maybe they wanted to be really genuine to the 30s.
Maybe.
But. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very funny, but also like really like pretty endearing.
Yeah,
it was like a kind of a feel good movie about these con people.
Yeah, nice little light drama comedy, but mostly comedy.
Not super high stakes, but like well written and well acted, and fun.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
I really enjoyed this.
You should watch Matchstick Men, the Ridley Scott Nicolas Cage movie. Because he's a con man who meets his daughter and cons with her. Oh, okay. Like it's
the same movie, just different takes.
Yeah, like they do have similarities, and that movie's fantastic as well. I really like that movie, but I really, really enjoyed this movie. I was having a ton of fun with it. Oh yeah, I was just smiling the whole time, like this is great.
Yeah, no, my smile was on my face until I read that article about.
Yeah. And there's no even, like, real, like, big drama that happens besides the end of him being, like, beat up.
Yeah, the major conflict of the movie was, like, Trixie.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That and then the big, fucking heist at the end with...
Yeah. But even that, they're, like, small-scale, like, things, and there's no, like, huge climax of the film, which I enjoyed for it.
Yeah.
Because it was supposed to be, like, small-scale, so having, like, this big fucking... thing happen would be
it's not like
disingenuous to the film's tone, I guess.
Yeah, it's not like Thanos showed up and the Avengers started like kicking ass or anything.
And he's like, "I'm gonna con Thanos out of his glove."
Dude, I'd watch that.
There's the con they do.
He's like, "See those gems?"
It's like,
I bet we could.
Hey, can I have change for that? I'll give you these 4 ones if you give me that 5. And he's like, "Oh, you know what? Actually, or no, I have this 5. If you just give me those 4 ones, then I'll have 5." And then as soon as they're trying to count and talk to other people, he's like, "Okay, how about this? You take those 5 ones and this 5 right here, and you give me that 10." So they steal $5 from somebody by doing this. So they do it a couple times, and they're like, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
I really liked, I thought that was a pretty good, because he did it once and then Addie did it once. I thought that was a pretty good,
yeah, they did it with the, like $20. He like went up and bought something and she gave the cashier a 5 and he had like written.
Oh yeah, there was another con that they did. Yeah. But I just mean like, he did that to the woman that he bought ribbon from. He got the $5 from. And then by doing give me the 5. Like just fast talking. And then Addie did it at the carnival.
Yeah.
And I just felt like that was a good kind of like being like, hey, they're related.
Yeah, Picard is like, here, I'll give you this. Just leave me alone.
Stop bothering me. But they also do another con where he writes from Aunt Lucy or something like that on a $20 bill, and she pays for something with a 5, and she's like, you gave me the wrong change.
I gave you a 20.
She's like, no, you didn't. You gave me a 5. And then she starts doing that.
And she starts like crying.
Yeah,
she's
crying.
Like, you gave me the wrong change. And the owner comes out. He's like, what's wrong? She's like, she's stealing money from me.
I gave her a 20 from my aunt, and it had this on
and
it.
It said, I love you, Addie, on it. And he opens the till, and there's a $1 or a 20 with it. And he said, here. He like gives her the whole 20 back. So
give her some candy too.
So she also gets like the $5 in change and some candy. We should do that.
Yeah, we should become a con man.
I'd be down.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Make some money off.
The only real problems I had with the film is I think the time with Trixie went on a little too long.
Yeah.
Because I think that the dialogue between Mo and Addie was so fucking good. I thought it was great. Like they had like great, I guess because they're actually related, they have this great chemistry.
Yeah.
Especially like the first argument they got in the car where they're like, well, we gotta just stop somewhere. We gotta go through somewhere. And they're like, well, we can go there. And they're like arguing. And I was like, this is so good. And I didn't think they had enough opportunity to do that when Trixie was in the car. And there were a couple good moments with Trixie, but I think it just went on a little too long.
Yeah.
So maybe if they cut back those scenes a little bit, I think the film would have been mwah! But right now it's mwah.
Yeah. I'd probably agree.
I gave this movie a 9. I really, really liked this movie.
Oh. I gave this movie a 7.
Nice. So that means our average?
8. Yeah. So go watch Paper Moon.
Yeah.
Try not to think about Ryan O'Neal and what he did to Angelica Houston.
Fucking wrestling ass move.
Yeah.
I guess he got it from Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Or the red coat that he beats up in Barry Lyndon.
Okay, we'll be right back because I'm going to go do something real quick and then we'll talk about Birdman! Alright, hey everybody, we just took a bit of a break. We're back. We watched an extra little film.
Yeah.
We just watched The Black Balloon, which is a short 20-minute film by the Safdie Brothers, who are best known for Good Time with Robert Pattinson.
They're called the Safdie Brothers?
Yeah, it's Benny and Johnny Safdie. S-A-V or S-A-F-D-I-E.
I thought
not Softy.
Okay.
Benny and Josh Safdie. Benny is also the brother in Good Time. Yeah. But yeah, we watched The Black Balloon, which is a short film they made about a black balloon that's sentient.
Yeah.
And just wanders around the city and experiences other people's drama. And then it ends with him breaking his comrades out of their prison.
Yeah, a balloon van. It was pretty awesome. I would give it, I don't know, probably like a 6.
Yeah, maybe. No, I'd give it like 6. It was interesting. It was just kind of like the balloon was just a frame to show like small little problems that people face. Yeah. Well, it ranges, somebody was fired for being a stupid dum-dum on TV. But then like another guy was homeless and he was trying to get food from his son. Yeah. His son's like, fuck you, Dad. And then another one is like a little girl and like her mom won't stop making out with her boyfriend or whatever. Yeah. And she's like, stop it! And then she tries to kill the balloon and the balloon's like, time to leave. Yep. And at the end he's just like banging, the balloon's just banging against this like glass window on this van. And I'm like, wouldn't it be so funny if he just broke the glass? And then he broke the glass. Yep. And the balloons rush to leave and some of them pop, but some of them fly up into the air free at last. Yep. It was beautiful. It was. I did really like, and it had some. I really like the songs in it.
Yeah. My biggest complaint was probably all of the acting. Yeah. All of the acting was pretty bad, but whatever. It was fine. Like it wasn't
Yeah, it just
It
felt
works
like
for a short film about a sentient black balloon.
Yeah, I mean, the first segment I think was okay. Like, at least comparatively.
Yeah.
The rest was... Also, I think the dad, the, like, homeless dad, he was okay. I thought the son was pretty bad.
I thought the son was really bad, yeah.
Please, leave me alone. Balloons, stay here. The balloons acting was very good, though.
Yeah, no, the balloons.
So
Oscar worthy.
if you have the Criterion channel, it's available on there. It's probably also available on YouTube, but it was a fun little time. Also, Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. Their new movie comes out in like a month and a half.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that one.
Yes, I've heard nothing but great things.
Yeah, I've heard some pretty good things.
And okay, let's get on with it. We're going to be talking about Birdman, which is technically a Disney superhero movie now.
Oh, shit. It technically is. I mean, it wasn't made under that.
Yeah, no, it was in the Fox Searchlight, which Fox Searchlight usually does pretty good movies.
They make good movies, but they're terrible at distributing them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you seen this movie before?
Yeah.
Okay, I hadn't seen this movie before. I'd been meaning to because I'm trying to watch all the Oscar Best winners, and this did win Best Picture in 2014.
Yep. I had seen it when it like first hit DVD.
I really loved this movie. I thought it was great.
Yeah, same here.
I'm always a fan of films that are at least presented as one take, and pretty much the entire film. It's obvious. It's pretty obvious when they do cut.
Yeah,
because like, let's go into this hallway for like 5 seconds, or let's turn really fast.
Yeah,
but even still, I think most of the takes were still probably like 10 minutes each.
Yeah, they were
still pretty long takes, and
it's
I love long
in that
takes.
regard.
It's funny because I used to really hate gimmicks, but I kind of love gimmicks in films now if they are used correctly.
Yeah,
like long takes can be so like they can elevate a film so much for me because I'm just like, this is so fascinating, and it tends to cause people to like not even like necessarily stumble in their acting, but like maybe do a little hiccup, but like. It sometimes feels more natural in a long take because it's like you don't just if somebody makes a mistake when talking, they just keep talking.
Exactly.
But you would cut in a regular edited movie.
Yeah, and I feel like the long take.
And there was a couple moments in Birdman where they kind of stumble over their words but keep going.
Yeah, and I feel like the long takes make sense given the context of the movie of it being about a play, and actors literally just do one giant long take. I mean, it'll be comprised of whatever scenes, and they'll have blackouts in between. But yeah, no, stage actors have to do this kind of shit all the time, and that's basically what it was. Because your average stage scene is 7 to 10 minutes, maybe 15 if it's a really dramatic point in the story, which is about the takes in this movie.
Yeah. This was also my first time watching an Alejandro Gonzalez.
What else has he done?
The Revenant.
I just got the 4K.
We were supposed to watch The Revenant today for movie day. But
that was
movie day's not happening.
That was one of the reasons why I didn't want to come, because I literally just bought Interstellar and The Revenant on 4K for my new TV, and then Lucera was like, well, I want to watch one of these two. And I'm like, no, I'm just about to watch those on my new 4K TV.
He also did the movie Amores Perros.
Oh, yeah.
Which I've heard nothing but great. I've heard great things about pretty much all his movies. He also did a movie called Babel.
I haven't heard about that one.
It has Brad Pitt in it.
Oh, yeah.
I think you've probably seen this poster. Maybe?
I've seen posters like it. I don't know if I've seen that specific one.
And then the last movie that I've really heard of that he's done is a movie called 21 Grams with Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro and Naomi Watts. But he's apparently a very, very good director, and seeing as how much I love Birdman, I could probably see that.
Yeah.
Birdman, the premise of the movie is Michael Keaton. Love him. He is kind of a washed up actor. He used to be It's like he's like Tobey Maguire.
He's basically playing himself if he didn't have that rejuvenation in his career.
Yeah, he's basically playing a lot of actors in their 50s and 60s. He's like a washed-up actor. He was in a superhero trilogy called Birdman. That was like the character he's known for. And then he's just kind of been in a bunch of shit since.
Yep.
But he wants to do this play on Broadway. And he also thinks that he's psychic.
Yeah, no, he's crazy.
Yeah. Well, no, maybe it's real.
Well, I think that there's some kind of transitions in the film where we see what he's thinking versus what's actually
But like for instance, at the very beginning, there's an actor he's working with who's just very not good at acting.
Yep.
And so he psychically has a light fall on top of him.
And gets rid of that real fast. And so...
And then he tells his manager, who's also his best friend, who's also Zach Galifianakis.
Yep.
Who's actually really good in this movie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Zach Galifianakis in this.
Yeah.
Like a more like serious role.
He's not in it like too much, but the scenes where
he's mostly in it in like the first like 20 minutes, I would say.
Yeah, and then he shows up for like bits and pieces towards the last.
But like that first parts with him and Michael Keaton were really good.
Yeah. But yeah, basically they're trying to figure out which actor they're going to get to replace this guy, and they're talking about like possible lawsuits that are going to happen because Michael Keaton admits like, yeah, I did that on purpose. He's like, well, what the fuck? Are you fucking drunk?
Yeah.
Like,
and also he doesn't believe that he did it because he's just like, I did it.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean you did it?
It's
and then one of the co-actresses he's working with is like, hey, I'm fucking Mike Shiner.
Yeah, Naomi Watts.
Yeah.
And then Mike Shiner is played by
Edward Norton, who probably just plays himself.
Yeah, he's a notoriously hard to work with actor and kind of does some of the things that...
I don't think he's as creepy in real life as he is.
I haven't heard anything about him being like kind of a pervert, but in terms of like trying to take over the project and like be a director himself when he's the actor.
Yeah.
That's the kind
and
of...
I'm like, dude, just direct a movie then.
Yeah.
What are you doing? If you want to be in the director's chair, be in the director's chair.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, Edward Norton, but there are directors who are also the stars of their own movies.
Yeah. Just look at
The
Mule with Clint.
Yeah, look at like most Clint Eastwood movies. He directed Gran Torino, The Mule,
Outlaw Josey Wales.
Baby. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
But yeah, so they bring on this new actor, and he is amazing.
He's very good at acting. He immediately like changes up Michael Keaton's script a little bit. They like have this back and forth, and it's like a really good scene.
Yeah,
and Michael Keaton's like, "Hey, this is a good idea," you know? It's like,
yeah.
But then like they go through they have 3 preview shows before their actual opening night, so people can come and they can pay like half price and they can watch. It's pretty much watching a rehearsal.
Yeah, it's like a big dress rehearsal, except there's not.
But like,
and you do
Edward Norton's character is like he's actually drinking gin on stage, and Michael Keaton tries to sneak and switch his gin with water,
and then he like freaks out,
and he goes into his monologue, and then Edward Norton's behind him going like, "What the fuck is this? Is this fucking water? Are you watching a movie on your fucking phone?"
Yeah.
No.
And he freaks out, breaks.
Edward Norton should play David Lynch in a biopic.
Maybe.
They even kind of look similar, except the hair.
He would have to do some pretty good makeup effects, but I think that would...
He could do the attitude, though.
I think that he would be a contender for a good... Like,
or Jack Black! Just have him look nothing like him.
I feel like Jack Black would play a better Jack Nance than he would have David Lynch.
Dude. Jack Black could play Jack Nicholson.
There we go. But...
They should redo The Shining with Jack Black.
Yes. I still, like, so desperately want to see, like, Jack Black, like, continue to, like, step out of his, like, typecast
Yeah.
and play like a really, really just straight dramatic role.
Serial killer.
Yeah,
He should be in season 3 of Mindhunter.
I'm sure they could probably find a serial killer he could wind up with. But,
Oh, he could become a real serial killer in real life and play himself.
here we go. Perfect.
I did it for the role. It's called extreme method acting.
Yeah. But, so, Michael Keaton freaks out and he's basically confronts the Zach Galifianakis. He's like, get that guy the fuck out of here.
Zach Galifianakis is like,
No.
no, you literally made me pay him so much money, and we've sold out because of it. Like, we're selling so many tickets. He's like, so we like, and then Edward Norton comes back and he's like, that was a good show.
Oh,
like,
also,
what?
one thing that happened before the scene where Edward Norton freaked out, it was right before his character went on stage, Michael Keaton's, but he's been like sleeping around with one of the actresses, and she lets him know that
she's pregnant.
Yep. And he's like,
well, she said she's missed 2 of her periods.
Yeah. And
also, Edward Norton's been hanging around, and like Emma Stone is in the movie as Michael Keaton's daughter.
Yeah, there's a scene because after
Edward
the scene
Norton
where they
gets
like
naked.
Yeah, because there's a scene where like he's first rehearsing with Michael Keaton, and then they go to get him fitted, and he's like, "Nice ass." And she's like, "Are you fucking serious?"
And then she like was standing there, and
she's like behind.
The
like,
tailor is like, "Okay, take off your pants," and he just isn't wearing underwear. He's just standing.
I like how the tailor's like down, like focused on his work, and he looks up and he's like,
"What the fuck? Where are your underpants?" He's like, "Under my bed, I think."
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's like, this is show business. Don't be so self-conscious.
And then back to the present. Michael Keaton, is having a rough time, but they do the second rehearsal.
Yeah, and
this time around, is this when he goes outside?
That's the final rehearsal.
What? Did anything bad happen the second time around?
The second time around,
they got through the whole thing.
I think the second time around is the
the boner.
Yeah, I was gonna say where Edward Norton.
So the climax of the film has Michael Keaton's character like banging on the door and interrupting.
The climax of the play that they do.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Climax of the play is that Michael Keaton is like banging on the door and interrupts like his wife or his girlfriend.
Yeah, his wife's having an affair on him, and he has a gun.
And Edward Norton is trying to actually fuck his girlfriend, who's in the play.
Is not.
She's like, "Fuck that! No, stop!" And he's being really creepy. He's like, "Come on, let's fuck!" And he has a giant boner. And then Michael Keaton bursts through the door, and Edward Norton's like, "Stop! Don't do it!" And he has a giant boner on stage, and people are laughing. They're like, "Ah!" They're trying to do like this good performance, and Edward Norton just has a giant boner. And it's
he would in that if that were like really happening. Just saying. Yeah. And apparently, after the scene, we find out he's had trouble, like, in real life getting it up.
Yeah. And he's like, because this isn't my real life. When I'm on stage, that's my real life. Out here, that's when I act. He's being all stupid and edgy.
Yeah.
But it fits his character.
But yeah, so they finish that scene. Naomi Watts basically breaks up with Edward Norton's character, and then
he's like, "Come on, babe." And then she goes and she talks to the other woman who like has been fucking
the other actress,
Michael Keaton, and then they make out.
Yep.
That's true in theater. Everybody just fucks everybody.
I mean, not when I was in theater, but
yeah, that's because nobody wanted to fuck you. God, oh no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. You were also in high school theater.
Yes, that is true. But
if we joined theater now, we'd be getting all the vagina and the butthole.
Yes.
And the cock.
Yes.
Big old cocks.
But oh yeah, basically Naomi Watts, like, this is her first Broadway show, and it's Michael Keaton's first one too, and she's like, I just keep waiting for someone to tell me that I've made it. And then Michael Keaton comes in and he's like, you made it, you're beautiful, you're great, you're talented, I need you for this show.
And I appreciate you or something like that.
And his girlfriend gets jealous.
And then she says that and then they kiss.
Yep.
Also, going back to the first night, I forgot about this. After Edward Norton had gotten drunk, they go out. And Michael Keaton's like, I gotta fucking talk to you. And they go into this bar and they talk.
Oh, yeah.
And, what they're talking about is like, hey, listen. This fails for you. You go back to Hollywood, you make a stupid-ass movie, and no matter what, you make money. But me, I'm putting my life on the line every time to get my paycheck to live.
Yep.
And he's like, dude, this play is all I have. I've put everything into this play because Michael Keaton has spent all of his money on this play.
Yeah.
He says he's gonna refinance one of his houses, which is supposed to go to his daughter, and his ex-wife is fucking pissed about it.
Yeah.
But he's like, I don't have any money.
And then they point out that there's the critic, and who's the only person whose opinion
the
matters.
nostalgia critic is sitting at the end of the counter, and she's like, I remember it, so you don't have to. And Edward Norton goes up to her, and she they don't really like each other, but she's like, what if I give you a bad review? What are you going to do when I give you a bad review? And he's like, you'll give me a bad review when I give you a bad performance. And then he dabs and he walks out.
Yep. And the thing that Michael Keaton's character had, he pulls out a cocktail napkin and he talks about when he...
Yeah, Edward Norton asks why he's doing this play by Ray Carver.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like... Because when I was in high school, I was in theater.
Yep.
And Ray Carver was in the audience. And he gave me this napkin. And it said, thank you for an honest and good performance, Ray Carver.
And Edward Norton's like, it's on a cocktail napkin. He was wasted.
That's me!
Yep.
People can be wasted and still enjoy things, Edward Norton.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, so then the second night went kind of poorly. Well, no, the second night went pretty well except for the boner.
Yeah.
But people still enjoyed it. And then the third night...
is the night where he goes outside.
Yeah, so he goes right before the big reveal, the big ending. Michael Keaton goes right outside the back door entrance to have a smoke in just his bathrobe. And the door shuts behind him.
I think we forgot to lead into what made him go outside and smoke. Earlier scenes, Edward Norton and Emma Stone's characters, after Naomi Watts' character broke up with Edward Norton, he started hitting on and having conversations with Emma Stone's character.
Yeah, playing Truth or Dare.
Yep. And basically, Michael Keaton saw that they were kissing before Edward Norton went on stage, and then he goes outside to have a cigarette, and then his robe gets caught in the door.
The door closes behind him, which he didn't mean for it to close because it's a one-way door.
Mm-hmm.
And then his robe's also caught. If it just closed, he could just run through. But the robe's also caught, and he can't get it out. So he has to take off his robe, and he starts running through Times Square.
Yep.
In just his underwear. And everybody's like, is that the Birdman? And there's a guy come on, give me an autograph. Don't be a dick. And he's like, I'm fucking in my underwear trying to run through Times Square.
He's like, all right.
And he runs through the play, and he's at the entrance, and he comes in through the back, and he does the scene in his underwear with no gun.
Yeah. Until he gets up to right before the stage and someone hands him their gun and he's like, oh. And I thought personally this was the best performance he had given in terms of what we see from him in the play. Because they do some interesting angles where you I felt it more in this one than I did in the
final one.
The final one.
Yeah. I don't know if I felt it more, but it definitely was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
It was good, the way he did it. And people, they were talking about it. He was trending the next day, and he's like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah. Because he's got, no social media. He's not, savvy.
People were, super excited for it, and he got really good publicity because of it.
Yep.
And all this time, he's still going kind of crazy. Right after this play, it's opening night the next day. So he goes out to that same bar, he talks to that woman again, the nostalgia critic.
Yeah, we forgot to mention.
We keep forgetting to mention.
Yeah, there's a scene like I think it's right after the first night where he reads a paper that had an interview with Edward Norton's character, and he gets like the front page, and everyone's like, "We love Edward Norton," and then he like flips it over, and he's got like a paragraph that basically says like he's trying to recapture his youth fame.
Yeah, he was on page 12.
Yeah.
Also, Edward Norton front page, he stole the Ray Carver story.
Yeah.
He had stolen, like, it was in theater in high school, and he stole the Ray Carver story, and I'm like,
yep.
Fuck.
So
the second night, after he does that, he punches Edward Norton in the face.
Yeah.
Which was good.
Yes.
Okay, so back to the third night. Afterwards, he goes to get drunk. He, talks to the lady. She says that he just tries to talk to her, and she's like, I'm gonna shut down your play.
I'm gonna give it a bad review. He's like, you haven't even seen it. And she's like, I hate what people like you stand for. And he's like, fuck you, bitch. He reads her review. He's like, look.
This is all just labels.
There's nothing about structure, performance, or anything.
Intention. All it is just lazy, shittily written labels. He's like, fuck you. And he grabs a glass and he throws it. And he's like, fuck you and your shittily written reviews.
And she's like, I'm gonna fucking destroy your show.
And then they walk out.
And he goes and he buys some whiskey.
And he drinks it all
and falls asleep on a curb. There's some dude who's shouting when he's buying the liquor, and he walks out and watches him for a second. The dude's like, I'm trying to impress you. Was my range too much?
He says the same thing as the guy from the very beginning.
Yeah.
The actor who was bad before he psychically, in quotation marks.
And so he just walks over to some stairs.
And he falls asleep.
Yep. And then he wakes up, and then he goes
full crazy.
Yeah, he's thinking, and he's basically I'm the fucking first step towards all these modern day people's success, Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, because I was the Birdman first, and I'm gonna blow him away.
Yeah, throughout this whole thing, they have been talking about how he was the superhero first, and there's even an interview with Rob. They're like, "We're going to be talking with Robert Downey Jr. later." You hear this on the television.
Yeah.
And they speak about it. And
they have a lot of.
And he's in the Avengers.
Yeah, they have a lot of references to the Avengers, because there's also that scene.
And that's why it's so funny that literally 2 years later he was like, I'm in an Avengers movie.
Yeah, no,
he's in a Spider-Man movie.
I was thinking that too, and it's funny because he's also a Birdman in the Spider-Man movie.
And he only plays people with wings.
Yeah, because he was Batman.
He was Batman.
I mean, Batman technically doesn't have wings; it's a cape, but
he goes like this.
Bats have wings.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so basically...
I mean, technically the Vulture doesn't have wings, they're robots.
Yeah, but their functionality, they're like wings. So... Yeah, Michael Keaton ends up on top of just the building.
Yeah, he sees himself floating up to the top of the building.
And some dude's like,
hey, bro, get off of there. And somebody's like, is this real or for a movie? And he's like, it's for a movie. And he's like, you people are so full of shit.
Yeah.
And somebody grabs him and pulls him off the ledge. And he's like, oh, do you know where you're going, man? Can I call somebody for you? And he's like, I know where I'm going. And he jumps off the building. And he starts flying through the city.
Yeah.
And it's weirdly shot. He looks weird in it. But that's mostly because of the coat he's in and the way the wind is going into it. Because it looks like he's kind of wearing a fat suit, even though he's not. It's just the wind going into the suit.
One other scene we forgot to mention from earlier. I know.
I don't remember this movie.
This movie has got a lot of just little scenes in it.
Yeah.
But the scene where we find out that he's refinancing his house when his ex-wife comes to visit. We also figure out that he's been neglecting his daughter, who's had problems in rehab. And there was a scene earlier where he found a fucking joint that she had stashed in a candle, and he freaks out and he makes it about himself, and
then she fucking goes off and on.
Yeah, she's like, look, you're not relevant.
Just like no one's fucking relevant. We're all fighting for relevancy, Dad!
And then there's that bit where after the third night, like, she comes up to the room or something, and she's like, "You're trending," and he's like, "I don't know what that is," and she has like the toilet paper lined up with all the dashes.
Every day was just so bad. He's like, I think today was pretty good. It was weird, but good. People liked it.
Yeah, and then she like sets up, and she's like, "Every dash here stands for
she has a giant roll of toilet paper she rolls out, and there's like probably like 1,000 dashes, and they all represent like 1,000 years. And she's like, and then she has one little piece of toilet paper, and she's like, and this is all the dashes that humans have lived.
Yeah,
and they're like, she says that they think that it will help us remember that our egos are only worth so much when we've only existed for this long.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know. He's the fucking Birdman.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so he goes, and it's the third night, and I'm trying to remember if there's anything like leading up to the performance that happens, because the film's like formatted in between like the rehearsals and the leading up to the final performance.
Yes,
but I think he flies.
He flies, and then when he arrives at the theater,
it's a taxi.
Yeah, there's a taxi cab driver that's like, "Hey, you didn't pay me."
Yeah. So he goes inside, and I'm pretty sure it pretty much just goes straight to the performance. It might I think it goes to like right before his place, because his ex-wife comes in and talks to him before he goes up.
Yeah, and he pulls out. He talks to him. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I fucked everything
up. He bears his soul to her.
He says that he like tried to commit suicide by like just trying to drown himself after he like fucked up something.
Jellyfish, and she's like, "You said those were sunbirds." He's like, "Well, you believed me, didn't you?" She's like, "I really didn't give a shit."
Yeah, because he had just cheated on her on their anniversary.
Yep. And
but then he goes out, and Edward Norton had said that his gun looked too fake because it had a big red plug in it.
Yep.
So he pulls out a new gun. Just happens to be a real gun.
Yep.
And he like loads it because we think he's gonna kill himself.
And
he goes and he like starts pointing it at people, going bang.
Yeah.
Bang. And I'm like, ah!
Because he points it at Edward Norton, and then he points it at someone in the audience who we later see is like sitting around the point where the critic gets up.
Yeah. And he's like whispers bang, and then he just puts the gun to his face and shoots, and then people are applauding, and then it cuts to him in a hospital,
and he shot his nose.
He had shot his nose off.
Yep. And his ex-wife is there, and Zach Galifianakis comes in. He's like, "This is great. You got what you always wanted." And she's like, "Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit." He's like, "What do you mean,
fuck you? This is what he wanted."
He's like, "Isn't this what you wanted?"
And then the press tries to get in, and he's like, this is my favorite part, because he's like, "Fuck you, this is a hospital." He's like, "Fuck you, get out of here."
Yeah.
I'm Zach Galifianakis.
And then his daughter comes in, and she brings some roses.
And they have a moment. He's like, "I'm sorry, I was a terrible father," They have a moment, and then he gets up after everybody leaves, and he goes to the bathroom, and he checks
out his new nose.
He looks at his new nose, and he looks completely different.
Yeah, and while his daughter's
out, there was a good prosthetic on his nose, because his noses really do make you look completely different.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Also, his eyes were, it was obvious that it wasn't just his nose that was making him look different. Like he had visible bruising all over his eyes and stuff. But even you could tell, even when it did heal, he would look like very, very different.
Yeah, but basically, after that, he goes over to the window.
Birdman gets up because he started the beginning of the movie. He was just hearing Birdman, and then eventually Birdman just shows up.
Yeah, it's during that
starts
scene.
Walking right before he starts flying.
Yeah,
Birdman just walks up to him. He's like, "Hey, I'm Birdman."
Yep.
And then Michael Keaton just goes to the window, opens it, and it pans over to Emma Stone walking in. She's like, "Where is he?" And she can't find him. She looks down. She can't see him. And then she looks up, and she smiles, and the movie ends.
Yep. And I've heard...
What do you take from that ending?
It's either one of two things. It's meant to be like, oh, she sees him flying, or I've also heard that she sees that meteor that we see at the very beginning of the movie that's coming to, like, extinct humanity. Because it's a very, like, kind of, like, it's sitting in the background and mostly with her scenes, but she talks about, like, the relevancy and how, like, insignificant humans are, especially with that toilet paper scene. And, so yeah, I think it's one of those two things. I've only seen the movie twice, so...
Yeah, and this was my first time, but I got, that stuff, but the meteor was mostly in her scenes, right? Like, pretty much exclusively. So I always thought that maybe, like, the meteor doesn't even actually exist.
Yeah, that's...
Like, it might be a thing, like, how mental illness can, like, be genetic and hereditary.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, how he's seeing Birdman, she's seeing these things that, like, humanity, because that's been what she's been fed in, like, rehab and stuff, that they're insignificant. It wouldn't matter if they just got wiped out. So she starts seeing this meteor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
and there's always the chance that Michael Keaton didn't even actually jump either. Like,
yeah.
He was just in there and she was just seeing things, so... But the ending's very... Pierre would not like this ending.
No.
Because it just kind of ends. But no, I really, really enjoyed the movie. It had some really great acting.
Yeah.
And even the, like, acting parts that, like, weren't so great, they, like, brought it back. Like, it was, like, stumbles, but that's why I like plays so much, because I like it when people, like... make mistakes, I guess.
Yeah, it's so much
I
more
like seeing them how they handle it. Yeah, and that's why I like long takes, or I like takes with mistakes in it. It makes it feel more genuine.
Yeah,
and I think films should feel genuine, no matter how artificial the film is, no matter what genre, even if it's like sci-fi or it should feel like characters are real and genuine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
you don't want to
having little mistakes in dialogue, I think, makes the film better.
Yeah, I think it can. I think it depends on, like, what the film's going for.
Yeah. And I don't think that means that just the first take should be the one that you use or anything. But no. I'm saying, like, you shouldn't take away a take just because they, like, stumble on, like, a word.
Yeah, because you take a look at them, see which one, like, flows the best, and has the most, like, human-seeming mistakes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Where they're not...
I'm not saying just, more mistakes is a better movie. I'm just saying, be human.
Exactly.
But...
Yeah, do you have any other thoughts on this? Like, I know, like, they're like... Because, obviously, we've talked about how it's edited to look like a one-take. They've got the...
except they do have, after he shoots himself in the nose, there is, like, a dream sequence.
Yeah.
With lots of cuts and stuff. That's the only part that's, like, not. Also, Spider-Man and Iron Man and Bumblebee show up during that part.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there he is. Just imagine him fighting Spider-Man 2 years from now.
Oh, yes.
The dream sequence is good, though.
Yeah, they've also got, like, throughout the movie, there's, like, percussion playing, and they've got, like, a drummer who will, like, show up in the background of some shots, implying, like, all, like, the percussion is, like, being played in the scene.
And it's obvious it isn't one take. Somebody told me it was, and I'm like, what do you mean?
There's literally styled to
there's literally scenes where it transitions to night in, like, no time. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But the stylization was great, and the takes were all very good, and almost all of them were long takes. Cut together. Kind of like Climax. Climax had, there was the one scene, like the big scene of dialogue that had a ton of edits, but then the rest of the movie was just like, here's like a 20-minute long take, here's like a 40-minute long take.
Yeah. I need to rewatch that one again.
I really, really like Climax. It just makes me very uncomfortable.
I've got thick skin, an elastic heart.
Well, you haven't been through what I've been through.
I mean, yeah, I haven't ever done that before. Anyway, the LSD that the Climax movie centers around, not whatever specifically you're talking about.
Or you're going to the hospital for.
No, I haven't done that before.
Cool. So I really enjoyed both movies. What did you give this one?
Probably like a 9.
I'm also at a 9. I really loved both movies we watched today.
Yeah, they were both great. I enjoyed them both very thoroughly.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got the classic for next week.
Yeah, what's classic?
All right, so I've been wanting to watch some of his movies for a really long time now.
Ooh.
It's October, so we want to get at least one horror movie per podcast, I think, with the exception
first,
of this one.
And then I'll guess.
Carl T.H. Dreyer.
What year is it from?
1933.
Is it vampire?
Yeah.
Or is it vampire or vampire?
I think it's pronounced vampire, but I'm not entirely sure.
Cool. I've been meaning sweet.
Yeah.
Vampire.
Because there's 4 to 5 movies of his that are on my watch list. And I figured this is a good place to start. So.
Okay. Cool.
It was supposedly shot around the same time that the Universal Studios Dracula was with Bela Lugosi. So this was almost the first sound vampire movie, but not quite. It came out shortly after. Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was silent or not because it's right at that cusp.
Yeah. To my understanding, it doesn't have very much sound in it, but it's got sound.
Cool.
But yeah, what's your pick?
My pick is just from last year.
Okay.
It might have even got its DVD release this year. I'm not sure. But it's by Lars von Trier. And it's The House That Jack Built.
I hope I get that movie because I've heard it's got some references.
Nice.
I heard it's pretty meta for a Lars von Trier film.
Nice.
And I haven't seen a single one, so.
Wait, you haven't Okay, never mind. Changing it. If you haven't seen any Lars von Trier movie, we're watching Antichrist.
I'm fine with that.
We'll watch if we have time, watch House That Jack Built.
Yeah.
But if not, we'll do Antichrist.
Okay. So potentially 2 Lars von Triers next week.
Yeah.
Maybe 1.
I don't think they're super long. No, they are.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm pretty sure.
House That Jack Built is 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Antichrist is less than 2, though.
Yeah, I should be able to watch them. I'm more in a watching rhythm now that I've watched 20 hours of Mindhunter.
Yeah.
So I've worked out that muscle.
So cool. That's our podcast.
Yeah. Tell your grandma, tell your mailman, tell your dog, tell your vet, tell your
parole officer.
Yeah, tell your local drive-through workers.
Tell the blacksmith.
Yeah.
Tell Obama.
Tell the fucking potion.
Tell potion seller.
Yeah. Tell your potion seller.
And watch Eraserhead.
Yeah. Pierre, give it another watch. You might like it more on a second watch.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. We'll talk to you in a week. Woo!
Woo!